Okay, today is November the 17th, 2017, and I wanted to do this video as an update on my C60 experience because I'm 2 weeks down track on this now. I finished my first little bottle of C60, and to be quite honest, I didn't really have an idea as to how much of it to take to start out, so I went at it pretty aggressively. The first bottle I had a dropper in it, and I was taking about 2 to 3 droppers, and the dropper would only fill up about halfway, but I was taking about 2 or 3 of those 3 times a day. So that's the reason I went through the bottle pretty fast. I had heard the recommended dosage was, maintenance dosage was a teaspoon. Finally came across that. But these bottles had droppers, so that's the way I approached it. The first bottle was in olive oil, where I started. Olive oil, not a lot of flavor to it, a little bit. But the one thing I caution you about is when you take it in olive oil, it takes a little getting used to, because the olive oil, when you swallow that, burns a little bit. And so you need to chase that with some water or, some type of liquid, something to drink, and it'll wash that out. It's no big deal. It doesn't burn a lot, just a little bit, but it's noticeable. It's a little bit uncomfortable. This since I started on this second bottle, the second bottle that I'm using is coconut oil. I've got some notes right here to keep me on track, and I'm still having some trouble. Now, the coconut oil does not have any real taste to it. Goes down smoothly, no burning sensation or anything like that. But again, you want to drink some water or something after you take this stuff. And now I'm only taking a teaspoon of this stuff in the mornings. I don't take any more during the day. And one thing that has happened, well, let me back up. I also have avocado oil, and I've tasted that. I haven't gotten on a regimen of the avocado. I've tasted that, and it's pretty much like the coconut oil. Very smooth taste to it, goes down easy, no burning sensation there. Now, one word of caution in going through the, and I'm kind of out of sync here, but one word of caution in taking this stuff is don't go at it too aggressively from the get-go. If you go at it aggressively like I did, the detox is very noticeable and very uncomfortable. About a week after I started this, I went through what I called a detox session. One evening, it didn't last but the evening, but it was very uncomfortable. So, but the next day it was gone, not a problem there. So I think if I had slacked off and gone at it, maybe instead of taking 3 droppers, which 3 droppers is probably going to be about a teaspoon the way I was taking it, but instead of taking 3 droppers 3 times a day, probably should have just done the 2 or 3 droppers once a day, and I would have been better off. But kind of my personality is I want to attack it, when I get on something, because I want to feel the results now. That's just the kind of the way I am. But having understood that, now I've backed off. Do this a teaspoon a day, and the coconut oil at this time. And I don't have any real changes to report. I can't tell a real difference in the way I feel or anything about me at this point. So it may take me a month plus of continually taking this every day before I really notice a difference. And I'm also guessing, and I think I'll be right on this, that the effects for each person are going to differ. Where let's just say it takes me a month, 2 months to really notice any difference. Somebody else might notice a difference in a matter of, 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes even in a few days. I've heard stories of that, so it remains to be seen. I mean, I'm experimenting on myself with this stuff, but I feel comfortable that this is something that's appropriate for me. It's not going to harm me long term. Another word of caution before I finish up this video is this is not recommended for children. I don't know that it would do any harm whatsoever, but we just don't know enough right now to say, give this to your kids or whatever. I fully expect at some point in time down the road, maybe a few years out, that we will see this available in a number of different forms, maybe even some capsules or something like that, where you can just pop a capsule once a day and take that for a while. So it's new. It's new to me. It's not inexpensive, so be mindful of that. But in the videos, I do include the informational videos, and I'll do so here again. I'll include the informational video that I got information from, and there's also 3 different sites, and I'm going to add a fourth one below this video, because I just watched an interview dealing with animals, pets, and dogs and horses, different types of pets that you can bone up on that, because it's applicable to them as well. So I'll put that information in the box below. But with that, I'm going to end this video, and I will update this a little bit later. So catch you later.